Hello, everyone, and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so get yourself involved in the live chat by subscribing to the channel, and you'll get to be involved in the chat, which is always interesting, always has some interesting points. And good evening, chat. First and foremost, it is good to see you all. Thank you for joining us. I am Scott Carney, and joining me tonight, first of all, is Alistair Pearson. Ali, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Quite a also we'll get into it. An enjoyable game watching Rangers last night, I thought, in Europe. But yes, take it into the league, Rangers. That is my message to you.
That would be lovely. Yes, I reckon this Friday's podcast might be slightly more positive than what last Friday's was anyway, because we weren't in the best of moods last Friday evening. So nice to have a little bit of positivity. And also joining us is Ross McLean. Ross, how are you, mate?
Good evening, gents. I am all good, thank you. All good. Yeah, it's good to come away with a positive result last night. The good, the bad, and the surreal dessers. There's plenty to get into, but no, glad to be on as always, gents. Glad to be on as always.
Yes, the Cyril Dessers, mate, that is something we will definitely get into. And yeah, look, as I say, it's brought a well-needed, I think, bit of positivity back to us all after the kind of turgid feeling we've all really had in recent times watching Rangers. And I think it's very welcomed and long overdue. But we will get into it, and it is, of course, where we will start. Olympiacos won, Rangers won. Ali, obviously, before we go into the game as a whole, what's your take on it? I know you said quite a positive result, maybe frustrating at points, yes, for reasons we will go on to. But is it a point gain for you? Is it two dropped? How are you feeling about it?
Before the game, I would have taken a point, if I'm being honest. Watching the game, probably should have won it, if you look at it. I don't think Olympiacos were great. But then again, we can only play what's in front of us. I thought we were decent in patches. Obviously, you'll break the game down in terms of Dessers, the enigma that is Cyril Dessers. But yeah, if we take our chances, for me, we win that game, Carney. But overall, I'll be honest, a point away from home against Olympiacos. I think we were the first Scottish team or something to score against them or something in Greece, something like that they were saying. Could be wrong. Somebody in the comments will say. I'm sure they were saying that in TNT Sports last night. But
I didn't hear that.
Something like that. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know if it's against Olympiacos, but I thought it was a decent result. I'll be honest, Carney. Europe for me is a sideshow, and for me, there's not pressure on the team. So when we play these teams in Europe, I'll be honest. Before we kick a ball, I actually fancy Rangers in most of these games. I actually fancy them against Olympiacos because there's no pressure that the Olympiacos will come out and play against them. So what I seen last night, I wasn't shocked to watch because Europe, for me, as I say, is a sideshow, and you see a different Rangers team in Europe.
Yeah, Ross, I wasn't 100% sure in what Rangers would throw up. And saying that on the same page as saying that, Ali's probably right. I think we've all mentioned it probably previously in the podcast. There is a lesser pressure on the club, on the team, on the squad, on the manager in Europe because we are always maybe not punching above our weight financially, possibly yes, and we seem to just play different, whether it's European teams suit us better in terms of the way we want to play. Like Olympiacos were very high up the pitch as much as they could be on last night on Thursday night. Whether that suits us or not, I'm not 100% sure. The game seems to be a little bit quicker. It's not playing against a kind of back 10, if you like. But to go away to Olympiacos, who won the UEFA Conference League last year, doing no bad in the league this year. They are a decent team. They do have quite a good reputation. The fans have got a reputation of creating quite a raucous atmosphere. I don't think we can turn our nose up at a one each draw in Greece, mate. I really don't.
Not at all, not at all. It was a game that before a ball was kicked in Europe, I did look at last night as probably my most optimistic result was a draw. And to come away thinking that we could have won it I was really chuffed with it personally. I think I completely agree with the whole, playing a bit better in Europe. As long as it's not, don't get me wrong, all the players are professionals, it's their job. As long as it's not a mentality thing of Europe means more in the league, because as Ali says, it will always come down to domestic side of things. But looking at it, as you say, mate, you need to take the games in isolation because Rangers just have that wee bit about them on a Thursday night. So to come away, mate, feeling again similar to Malmo, where it could have been more, but I'll take it could have been more than coming away feeling disappointed. So I was really pleased, mate, and it leaves us in a solid position for the rest of the competition.
I think as well, maybe we do Rangers a slight disservice, and I'm being very positive tonight. I do. It's 5 minutes in, and I'm being extremely positive, but it might do the Rangers a little disservice. The fact that we need to remember we got to a European final when nobody would have gave us a chance of getting there, considering where we'd been and where we'd come from, and what's happened to us over the past decade or so. So I think there might be a little bit of that in teams with the approach and go, they could be quite a dangerous team. Do you know what I mean? They could spring a surprise. They could give us a game that we're probably not really expecting. But I thought Rangers handled themselves very well, and I'm very happy with the fact that we went a goal down and we managed to stick in there and get a draw. I think that's good. I don't think I'll be the only Rangers fan that thought when we went a goal down in the second half that thought, good, we're going to be about 2-3-0 down here in the next 10 minutes, because we've seen it before with this Rangers team. But you got to give credit where it's due. And I honestly thought the response was good from Rangers. I really do. And I still think we finished the game probably only just, but still the better team. Still the better team on the night. I thought we were better. I think we had the better chances to score than what they did. And I think at points we looked more dangerous than they did as well. So no, overall, I'm happy with a draw. We'll go into the game in a little bit more detail. Probably pick out individuals. Ali, we will start with the enigma, with the man, the myth. I don't think he's quite a legend, but he's definitely something. Cyril Dessers. I mean, what? I sent you a wee brief agenda tonight and I said, what a finish, you absolute donkey. And that is Cyril Dessers for me. It really is. I mentioned in the post-match last night, sometimes he makes me angrier when he scores because it's such a good goal. The composure that he shows to commit the defender to that tackle and then to pick his spot into the far corner. I mean, even when he beat the defender, I was going, he's going to balloon this. He's going to smash it right to the keeper. He's going to put it over the bar. And he buries it, mate. You have to give credit where it's due. But what are we going to do with him? Genuinely, Ali, what are we going to do?
He is an enigma. I'll be honest, seeing the first half when he was through and goal and the ball played, whether it was offside, I don't know, but when he was through and goal, I didn't go off the couch because I knew he'd hit the goalkeeper, and he did hit the goalkeeper. And then 5-10 minutes later, when it's cut back to him, he's got a score there, and you're shouting at the telly, and we're all in group chats, and other folk are in their group chats probably going, for Christ's sake, Dessers again. Because in big games, especially in Europe, you only get so many chances away from home, and you need to take them. Well, Olympiacos didn't get many, but they took their chance. But his goal, Carney, was top drawer for me. I mean, the way I think they were saying he sent the boy for a hot dog, but he did. And the finish was sublime. It was a fantastic goal. But then 10 minutes later, for me, Dessers is through and goal and has to play one of the guys on the left-hand side and goes for a shot, and it goes completely wide. And you're looking at it going, was Dessers in it? So I just think that's what he is. He's an enigma. I still don't think he's not the answer going forward, Carney. We can't rely. As I said in our group chat last night, this is before he scored the goal. If we go with Dessers as our number 9 to the rest of the season, I don't see us winning anything, to be honest. I don't think he's good enough. But that goal alone was fantastic. And you've got to give the guy credit. He doesn't hide. A lot of strikers would hide after missing so many sitters, but he doesn't. He keeps going. It doesn't seem to affect him. And yeah, I mean, a lot of folk turn to it and say, look at on paper, his goal ratio to appearance is good, and it is. But yeah, he is an absolute enigma. You're pulling your hair out with him, Carney, but he's got us a goal, and a big goal, and he doesn't score big goals for us, really. I know he got the goal last season away out when we played was it Real Betis? Was that who we were playing at the time? And he's done this tonight in Europe. So it was a good goal, but again, he needs to do it in big games and domestically for me. That's where he needs to turn up.
Yeah, I think if John Allen, I just missed that. They said if he scored all his chances, you wouldn't be with us. Simple. I do agree with that. I think there's a lot could be said about that. However, he still has to be scoring a lot more in order to even be at Rangers.
It's not even just scoring goals, Carney. It's all round play up, number 9, holding play up, final balls, etc. It's not just scoring goals. So
But then you could then still go down the argument of, is Clement using him to the best of his ability? Because Dessers is a penalty box player at best.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what he is. He's a modern day, I'm not going to say Chris Boyd, but the style of Chris Boyd, because he's not as good, nowhere near a clinical finisher as anything like that, but you'll get what I mean. And he wants to be in and about the penalty box. That's kind of where he wants to be. Not that he always scores, because he doesn't. He just doesn't. He doesn't score all the time. Even after the game, Butland and Dessers spoke to the media. It was TNT that he spoke to, and the interviewer asked Dessers, what did you think when you're running through and goal and that? Did you think you were going to score or whatever? And Butland is trying his hardest not to laugh, because he's probably going, nobody knows if Dessers is going to score or not. Ross, Ali's right. Look, we're not going to progress as a football team with Dessers at the number 9. He did get the important goal on Sunday, however, he didn't stop last night, and he manages to score an absolute peach of a goal. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Until we get to January, though, we're going to have to stick by him somehow or other. I think we all know that he's not the answer. I think Clement himself is probably going to know that he's not the answer. But credit where it's due, the finish last night is superb.
It is absolutely first class to finish, mate. I've never seen a player in my life the combination of a prime Luis Suarez and a prime Brandon Barker. It's remarkable, the guy. But I think the comments on yourself are spot on. If he scored half the chance he took, he wouldn't be with us, because if you look at it on the other side of things, he's always in a decent position. Like, even there was a few chances last night where he's in the right place. He's, he gets himself where he needs to be. It's just the most important bit of the game, putting it in the back of the net. So you're right, until January comes around, we will just need to put up with him, I think, because I think, just briefly, Igamani, I don't know if he's going to be maybe the instant impact that we thought he would have been after he had those bright spells. Still a lot to come from him, of course, but I think Dessers, he'll be leading the line going forward, and if he has the ability to do what he did last night, then more of that, please. But you're right, it's not just the in front of the goal, it's the linking up the play, which, once he scored his goal last night, you could see that there was a few, he was getting in about that, and obviously that chance where you pass the ball and that you've got a goal and an assist. So it's decision making and that wee bit of quality at the end of the day, but it's a goal that we'll look back at quite fondly, because it's an absolute screamer, mate. It's an absolute screamer.
It is, and you're right, he got a bit of confidence from it, he got himself involved a little bit more, but then, as Ali rightly said, the to play the pass was on for him, and he takes a shot with his left foot, and it trundles out for a goal kick, and you're like, and that's the bit when you get so frustrated with the guy, because there's no doubt he's got some ability to put the ball in the back of the net. You've got to commend him for his attitude. You've got to commend him for his mindset and the way that he continues to go on, because he doesn't ever really hide in games. It's not really his style, even if it's poor. I mean, even last night there was a couple of times that there was a simple pass, 2-3 yard pass, and he just hits he hits the Olympiacos player with it, and you're like, right, yeah, and it's becoming very frustrating to watch. And I do think it's now a natural response for every Rangers supporter when they see the team coming out and it is Dessers starting, that you get that wee bit of shy in you, where you're going, oh, God, you're going to need to watch him, because he is very frustrating to watch. 90% plus of the time he is very frustrating to watch. Ali, we're in a situation where we do have Dessers, who's not a first choice striker. Igaman, I'm not writing the guy off, but he's done nothing for me. There's absolutely nothing so far where I'm like, I know he needs a consistent run, I do get that, but he's not really even making an impact when he comes off the bench now. I don't know how long the project is with him, but it does seem to be longer than this season anyway, that's for sure. It seems it's going to go on a while. There is no doubt in January that this situation needs addressed. Danilo came back for a break. I know he'll probably be involved at the weekend, because obviously I just know he's not in the European squad, but he came back and he looked decent enough. However, he falls under the same category as Lawrence for me, or Ridvan for me, where I doubt he's going to be able to stay fit. Yes, he could prove me wrong, but I think Rangers seriously need to be recruiting a first choice striker in January.
Yeah, we knew this before we kicked the season off, to be honest, and here we are talking about it again. So this isn't new, Carney, but Igaman for me, when we seen him against, was it Dundee United, and he had that 15-20 minute spell, and we all looked at him and going, oh Christ, he looks a player. And ever since after that, he's
even
had wee
against them,
cameos.
when he came on against them, he looked a bit bright, but he wouldn't have been
Yeah.
hard considering what we'd watched.
No, I know. But since that, we've seen him start games, not been great at all. Wee cameos there last night. He gets stupidly booked when he came on.
Yeah,
he looks very raw, to be honest. If like I said 2 weeks ago, if Dessers get injured and we had to go Igaman, Christ, I think we'd have shit creek, to be honest. And my pal Danilo's come back as well, who looked bright against Motherwell, but I'll be honest, I don't think he's the answer, Danilo. I know a lot of folk think he's going to be the guy that's going to be our number 9 going forward to the end of the season, and I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he does. I hope he comes and scores lots of goals, Danilo. But I agree with you. I put him in the same bracket as your Lawrence's and all that. I just think he's made of, as you say, Carney, paper mache. But I hope he proves me wrong. But yeah, in January, I think that's one of the number 1 positions is a striker, because there's a lot of games this season that we've badly needed a decent striker up there. So I think we'll be looking at it in January, and hopefully we do bring somebody in.
Yeah, well, I think it's a necessity. I really do think it is, because I mean, again, I want Danilo to prove me wrong, but I still don't think even having Dessers and Igaman at this stage, what we're seeing is going to be really good enough for the run-in for the rest of the season. So I think if Danilo works his way to the top of being the first choice again, and if he does, then an even more baffling decision that he isn't in the European squad, considering we're playing into 2025 and this current format. A bit confusing, but yeah, I think it's a situation that's going to be needing addressed in January. We'll move on, Ross, to speak about James Tavernier, or the decision from Clermont not to name James Tavernier in the starting 11. Obviously, he was substituted at the weekend against Motherwell because he was rank rotten, absolutely rank rotten. And I made the point last night that I'm not breaking ground. I am not breaking any news that the future of Rangers is without James Tavernier at right back. I don't think there's any doubt. Is this the start for you? Is this the start of the Clermont? Is the penny kind of dropping with Clermont that he has to look at Sterling and Casemiro? Because when Sterling came off, he brought Casemiro on. He didn't bring Tav on. So is Clermont now coming round to the idea that fans have been screaming at for a while, that it's now time to replace Tavernier with somebody in the squad? You've got 2 players there in Sterling and Casemiro that could probably do the job. So what's your thoughts on it? It's quite a big call from the manager.
I think it needs to be, mate. It needs to be the shift. It's a natural progression. Obviously, Tav's been here for many years, and don't get me wrong, I will be further grateful for what he's gave to the club. This is it's what happens in football, and I think it's taken us maybe 1-2 seasons to kind of understand that it's just what happens. So I think you're right. Last night for me, when he brought on Casemiro instead of Sterling, I think that's already a big signal to me. I don't know how you boys feel, but I think you can see right from the off that Sterling at right back, that boy who was on the wing for them was parked over to the other side because Sterling was getting no joy out of Sterling at all. I thought Sterling, obviously there's players in the middle of the park who are getting the plaudits. I thought Sterling was outstanding last night, and I think it's no coincidence that we concede as soon as he goes straight off. But I think Tav, I was saying to my brother that at times I actually don't think Tav could be a bad option off the bench. See, when teams are tiring, the quality that Tav's got and a cross on him, that he could be a potential option coming off the bench. But for now, I think for the sake of the team, putting the team first, you need to be starting a Sterling or a Casemiro. Who it is, that's still to be found out. Obviously, Sterling's kind of coming back from what looks like a bit of a knock. But for me, mate, Tavernier, he'll probably start at the weekend. Domestic games, you'll probably expect him to start. Seeing European games, stuff like that, when we're playing against pacey opposition, Casemiro or Sterling's your man, 100%.
Yeah, Jim, thank you very much, mate, for the donation. Very much appreciated, mate. Always good to see you, mate. So thank you very much for the donation. Ali, I thought Sterling was solid. I really did. I think Ross is spot on that Martin's on the left-hand side. He had no joy out of Sterling at all. Sterling was stopping crosses, dare I say it. He wasn't giving his man enough room. He was closing his man down. He was cutting out passes. Didn't offer a great deal going forward, but that's probably not his game. We've all seen that he's definitely not a right winger. So, but for me, I think I'm a big lost over the kind of maybe importance of bringing on Casemiro when he brought Sterling off, purely because I was confused at why Sterling even came back out for the second half if he was going to get 5 minutes. I was a bit confused by that. I'm like, that doesn't really make much sense. Obviously, there's been no reports that Sterling's injured or anything like that, so it looks like they are managing his minutes, but I didn't understand that. I thought that should have happened at half time if it was going to happen. But yeah, the call from Clement, mate, to drop Tavernier, and are you on the same frame of Ross? Do you think he will come back in at the weekend, or does the manager have to stick to his guns now?
No, I don't think he does come in. Clement said that they knew at the beginning of this season that Tav can't play 60 games. So he's come out and said that. So coming back to Clement as well, why have you waited to him having an absolute stinker against Motherwell to finally drop him? Why have you not rested him in games this season when we knew he had to be rested? So only Clement can answer that one. But yeah, going forward, I thought Sterling was good last night. I thought he did the basics just defensively. That's what he was there for. I thought he was very good. He's powerful. He's quick. He doesn't offer offensively what Tav a few seasons would do, but that's for guys in front of him like your Chernies and that to do for me. So I thought he was very good. Casemiro, when he came on second half, I thought it was good. Same as you, I thought it was bizarre taking him off 5 minutes into the second half. I know he did say he can't play 90 minutes at the moment, and they're managing his minutes. That's my only fear with Sterling. He can't manage 90 minutes in games, or he's had a niggling injury apparently. So I hope they've got to the bottom of that and he can play games, because as we've said before, a lot of folks slag Tav off, but in previous seasons, Tav would play 50, 60 games every season and he wouldn't be injured. So we need somebody in there. But yeah, going forward for me, Saturday, and we've got an international break coming up as well. So they're going to have a 10-day break, whatever it is. So for me, yeah, if Sterling's fit, he plays on Sunday against Hearts. Tav, for me, doesn't play. I agree with Ross. I think he is a decent option to bring off the bench when teams are tiring as well. I know he was playing further up the park when we brought him on. But for me on Sunday, Sterling starts. And if he's injured, Casemiro.
I 100% agree for what it's worth. I think the when I seen the team sheet last night, you kind of double looked at it because I expected them to put Tab back in just because that's what everybody's always done. I think even though he took him off at the weekend, I was like, he's probably going to play tonight. And I know we didn't do a club deck corner on Tuesday, so I had no time to really think about what my team was going to be or really properly think about what the team was going to be. But when I seen the starting 11, I thought he even said that Sterling's not fully fit and he's still picking him over Tavernier. So to me, that's a statement of intent there by the manager, and he has to stick by it. I'm not going to sit and bash Tavernier, I'm not, but Tav has done nothing but start games this season. He's not done anything else. He really hasn't. He's not got what he used to have. He knows he hasn't got it. You can see that he knows that he doesn't have it as well, and it's just not nice to watch. I always said that it's when any player, even when Alan McGregor, when he come towards the end of his career, I never want to see a player dip off the cliff that far that we start resenting the player and that you start not liking the player and you forget what the player has done for us. Yes, the age-old argument with Tavernier is should he be in the Hall of Fame, and no, he hasn't won it as much as a Rangers captain as he should, which I completely agree with. But the amount of football and the amount of stats that he's put in as a right back cannot be argued with, no matter how much people hate him. So I will always defend him for. However, everything comes to an end. All good things have got to come to an end, and I think Clement would be silly now to go back on something that he started. I think he has to stay brave, and he has to decide to continue on without James Tavernier being the starting right back, and really try and get somebody up and running as quickly as possible and established in that position before the kind of the league for me is not going to happen. So you've got this season to get it correct, because it doesn't look like Clement will be going anywhere, no matter how bad the domestic football gets. But I think Clement has made that decision now, and he should really be sticking to it. I don't think he should be looking to to really to be going back on himself, I think it would be a silly decision. I really do. But anyway, we'll move on. Ali will quickly speak about Raskin and Barron in the middle of the park. Sorry, Ross, have I missed you out there? Who spoke last? Sorry, I can't even remember.
Is that Ali's up? Ali's up.
Was it right? Cool. Sorry, I got myself lost there. And there's only 3 of us on. What chance have I got when there's 4? Ali, Raskin, and Barron. I never thought that I would be saying that Raskin and Barron are the good partnership, or the two in the midfield in our engine room that we wanted to see, because we were saying that they were very similar players. However, it's working, mate. You can't say that it isn't. Both of them are running about like not even headless chickens. They're running about controlled. They're organised. They know where each other is. They're winning balls. They're cutting balls out. They're snapping into tackles. They're breaking up play. Even Raskin's foul towards the end, a professional foul. Yes, exactly what he should have done. I'm not going to criticise the guy for that. It's a good tackle to make at that point. But Raskin especially, he's come back and he's proven a lot of doubters wrong, mate.
Yeah, I thought the two of them were good. Raskin the first half, I'll be honest, I thought he was good, but his distribution at times and final ball was poor, and it frustrated me at times. But then the guy's, I mean, coming back, the guy's not played a lot of football for us in the past year, if you want to say. So I'll let him off for that. And the second half, I thought he was really good. Second half, I thought he won pretty much every ball, breaking play, getting us up the park. Him and Connor Barron kind of complemented each other in that type of game. Whether you need the two of them when we play at Ibrox against a Ross County or something, that's another discussion, to be honest. But in games like this, and you look towards the cup final coming up in 4 weeks' time, that's the two I would be looking at going forward in these types of games. We just need somebody in front of them. Diamandi, for me, frustrated me last night again. He didn't offer much for me, Diamandi.
He looks lost at times, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he does look a wee bit like he doesn't know where he's meant to be, which is very frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's been here nearly a year now, Diamandi, and we're still wondering, where does he play, Diamandi? he's played most of the positions in those 3, if you want to say. It'll be interesting when we get a winger on the left-hand side back. I know your pal Carney, my toddler's back in training now, but it'll be interesting.
Whoopee!
It'll be good to see that once somebody like him or a Cortez is back, they play in the left. I'd like to see Barami in that 10, just in front of a Barron and a Raskin to see what it was like, because I thought he was poor in the first half on the left-hand side. I thought he grew into the second half, but Barn and Raskin last night, I thought was good. We've been scratching about this season. The midfield's been, well, the whole team has been poor, but the midfield's been poor. And these two are starting to form a partnership. So I think we need to stick with it and build it. Like I say, I don't think we need it for certain games at Ibrox, but big games, i.e. Celtic, Cup finals, etc., I think the two of them will do for me. It's just finding a guy in front of them. Hopefully Barami's a guy for that. But yes, last night Raskin looked like the guy that we'd signed all those transfer windows ago. And I hope he can kick on from there.
Yeah, Ross, David Todd makes a good point there. A very mature, industrious performance from these two. I agree. I think we need to remember that they're both quite young. They're not well established. They've not been playing football for a very long time. So I think the partnership is good to see. I agree. I'm not sure if it's what we need in terms of a home game versus St Johnstone, for example. However, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, I think, because who else are you going to play? These are clearly two players in the midfield that are definitely in form. Diomandi's got question marks over him in terms of his form and his ability to make an impact on a game. But for Raskin and Barron to be doing what they're doing, it's full credit to them, and I'm quite liking it. It's a nice foundation to have.
Especially in that environment last night. I mean, that's no easy place to go to. So the fact that the both of them at their age coming in, it's remarkable. Especially, don't get me wrong, Connor Barron, I can't say enough good things about him. He's been playing a good amount this season, especially for me Raskin boys. He's came in for a guy who looked like he was kind of out the cold, and I don't know if Clement maybe didn't fancy him, whatever. He's came in and he's took it right up a gear. For me, you have to build the team around them just now, and it's one thing that is maybe been a bit of a bug for me at the moment, is that it's quite tricky to name. I mean, every week it's so tricky to pick your starting team. Like, who do you actually go for? We're now starting to see the foundations. If it is Barron and Raskin, if that is the two in the middle, build it around them and work from there. If it is Sterling in the right, whatever. But you've got your two sorted there who have the energy to. I mean, they could still be running just now if they wanted. They were outstanding. I agree with Valley that you kind of fast forward into the later stages of the game. You had that chance with Barron, kind of right about probably the 90th minute. If that is a Barami, say in an ideal world, Cortez is fitting Baramis through the middle. Barron doesn't need to do that. He's a defensive guy, so it's swings and roundabouts. But if you look at them just as a performance, mate, sensational, sensational, and it's you don't throw words like that about lightly. Like we're lucky to just see a wee bit of something in the midfield that's seriously been lacking for a long, long time. So you're right, it's something that it might not work in all games, but for the big occasion, they've shown they can do it, and we need more players like that.
Absolutely, and they're taking the opportunity that's getting rewarded them for probably being fit and maybe being a little bit different than what we currently have. But yeah, it wasn't a partnership that I seen coming or want to be really talking about, considering how similar, and I'm not saying they're exactly the same player. They've got similar traits, don't get me wrong, but it's a very exciting thing to see, and it's a very exciting partnership to have in the middle of the pitch. Speaking of excitement, it's now time to hear from our sponsor's new product. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, their Chairman Pro electric foil shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. You have the skin safe full blade foil for that close smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean, and if a clean shave isn't your style, just switch to the skin safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. The Chairman Pro comes with unique flex adjust technology, helping you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier: the Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro is so powerful it can tackle up to a 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. Thank you to Manscaped for their continued support of this podcast. Ali, you now have your Chairman Pro. Have you used it yet?
Yep, I was showing the missus it in its wee case. And it's quite professional. Yeah, she thought it was quite professional, but yeah, it's good. Got a different heads and all that on it. It kind of moves where you're there. So yeah, it's an upgrade on the
Handyman.
The Handyman, which
I told you that, didn't I? I said that.
Loved the hand. I still like the Handyman. The Handyman was brilliant. It was a game changer, but this is now going up a level, Carney. So yes, very impressed with it. And yes, anyone looking for any Christmas presents, use the code. Manscaped's products are very good, including their boxers, which I have on right now.
Yeah,
but I will not be doing a reveal.
Don't do a Scotia. No, don't do a Scotia, mate. No, don't do that. No, the same. The boxers are great. I genuinely love them now. They're absolutely fantastic, and yeah, their products are superb. The Chairman Pro is definitely a step up from the Handyman, that's for sure, and it generally feels like a kind of clean shave. I know I'm never really clean shaven, but it is a cracking bit of kit. So thank you very much to Manscaped, and obviously if you use our code, you're supporting our podcast. So thank you everybody that wishes to do so and will do going forward. Really is appreciated. Jim's just made a comment saying Young Ross is obviously the brains of the podcast now. I'm not sure I ever claimed to have any brains. Ali, you ever claimed to have brains?
I would say I'm quite intelligent, to be fair, on certain stuff. But
who's your favourite music artist, Alistair? Do you want to tell people that?
Who wants to know who my favourite music are? My music taste is completely awful.
Horrific.
But,
Your music taste is horrific, is what it
I
is.
will tell you, when I was in Holden and the American, I sang Elton John to about 100 Americans, and I was pissed.
Brilliant, man. Absolutely superb. So, yeah, Jim, I'm not sure if it's Ross will probably take it as a compliment, to be fair, but I'm not sure if it's a backhanded compliment to you. I don't know. I've got no idea. But there you go, Ross. You're now the brains, mate. What chance have we got?
We'll take it.
Yeah, what chance have we got? So right, we'll move on. We'll move on back to Rangers things and less about face trimmers, etc. The remaining games in the Europa League, Ali, we are now sitting on 7 points after 4 games. Obviously, the defeat to Lyon being the outlier. Got points from every other game. We are joint 9th on points. Looking at the table, that's not too bad going at this stage. It really is not too bad going. We do have difficult games coming up, yes, but what do you think? Maybe 3 points over the next 4 games should be enough to see us through?
Yeah, I'm looking at we're playing Nice away, obviously, next.
Who I think they drew last night, by the way, and Tottenham get beat as well.
Yeah, so I quite like the new format, to be honest, in all 3 competitions. I think it gives you a chance. I think it gives smaller teams and smaller leagues, if you want to say, a better chance of progressing. So you look at it, Nice, for me, if we could maybe nick a point there or whatever. Tottenham and Man United, I think they'll take care of themselves. Tottenham at Ibrox, it's going to be hard, but it's at Ibrox, anything can happen. And obviously Man United away, I know they won 2-0 last night. But it would set up for me, regardless of what happens, you'd like to think possibly it could set up the final game in the league against USG at Ibrox, and maybe a kind of winner takes all for us in terms of getting through at the knockout stages. But yeah, I think we're sitting in a decent position. If somebody had said after 4 games you'd be sitting in 7 points, you probably would have taken it, looking at the teams we've played. So yeah, I think we had to be where we are at this point because I thought we had an easier ride of teams in the first half to the end of what we've got to play in terms of Tottenham and Man United to come. So I think we're in a good position. And like I say, USG at home last game of the season, I'd like to think we could win that. So I'm looking for a point in any of the other 3 games. And yeah, I think that will see us through.
Yeah, Ross, it's a good position to be in. Could be a hell of a lot worse considering the way our domestic football has went this season. I still say that, look, Clement's still going to have his question marks hanging over him domestically because we are seeing little improvements. But in Europe, he's performing, literally screaming comparisons to Gio. It really is that kind of chalk and cheese of Rangers in domestic football and Rangers in European football. But 7 points, mate, 4 games to go. Probably 3 points does us. But I think Rangers could be in with a shout.
Well, when we beat Tottenham, we'll be absolutely flying, so don't need to worry about that. No, I'm delighted, boys. I'm absolutely delighted.
What was Jim saying about brains? Sorry, what was Jim saying about brains?
He's on my Christmas card list. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. No, it's I'm feeling very happy with where we're sitting just now. I know that kind of, but again, before a ball was kicked, you know that you're coming up to this period that is going to be tricky, especially for me. It is that Tottenham game when you have the cup final with Celtic. That's going to be tricky on the games, but we've done very, very well, and I think next game, Nice away, is probably, when you look at the next 2 after that, if we can even, it might be optimistic, nick a draw out there. You never know. And then obviously USG at home, for me that's all about 3 points. And I'm honestly, it feels at times tricky speaking about European games because you know what's happening outside of it. You don't want to go too over the top, but at the end of the day, we're football fans. When our team's doing well, we have to kind of appreciate it. So I'm very happy where we are just now. And again, Ange, watch yourself because D9's coming.
Yes, D9 is on his way, yes, to cause chaos at the Tottenham backline. No, look, and Ross, if you ever do get carried away, don't you worry, mate. The chat and the comments will bring you back down to earth with a clatter. Don't you worry about that, mate. Been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt several times. So no, look, I think we're in a good position. I really do. I think we would have probably all took that at the start of proceedings and start the Europa League. So yeah, we just need to hopefully, I say 3 points, I think, should be enough. It's going to be difficult to tell until probably the last couple of games what exactly we're going to need, but I think 3 points is probably going to be enough. We'll move on to speak about, obviously we spoke about the foundations of the midfield too, and we're going to speak about the kind of problem area within the midfield, which is, I think, the number 10 position. Ali, it was confirmed by Clement that Lawrence will be out 4 to 6 weeks. You would imagine it will be the later of the 6 weeks, just due to the way that he was saying it. It doesn't really seem to be a clear indication of when he is going to be returning. With Raren, there you go, that's what they're called, Raren, Barron and Raskin, as out in the midfield too. It's critical for me for us to get Barami back into that 10 role by hook or by crook. I don't know how we're going to do it. Obviously, we've got the return in Matondo. I don't know how far away Cortez is as this stage. But I think it's critical for Rangers moving forward that Barami finally gets his run in that 10 role while Lawrence is out. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I think to just hope that Diomande can do it, and it's no real disrespect to Diomande, but let's maybe play the 10 that we signed as a number 10 in the 10 role and fix the left-hand side for now until we have an option there. But I think going forward, I think this is Barami's chance to shine there.
Oh, definitely. Lawrence he's injury prone with us now. He wasn't injury prone before he came to us, and he got the curse of Rangers, obviously, and that's him. I sat with Scotia at Hampden last week, and when Tom Lawrence went down, I turned to Scotia and went, that's the reason you can't depend. Tom Lawrence, he can't play 50, 60 games a season. No chance. We all know that. And Clement pretty much continually picked him as his 10 all the time. So, yeah, like I say, we play Hearts this Sunday. After that, we have the international break, and you'd like to think after that you might see, and I know he's not the answer, but he frees up Barami. Matondo is back. So you'd think Matondo will play in the left. McCausland can play in the left as well, but he's a right winger. So if Matondo's back, play Matondo on the left and put Barami in the middle. We've got a decent run of games in the league. I know our league form's been pretty crap, to be honest, but we've got a decent run of games where we can maybe build a bit of momentum in Barami. For me, I want to see him there. I know we've seen him in that one game where Diomande was playing up beside him and they were getting away each other. So for me, after the international break, it'll be interesting to see if Matondo's back and that's where he'll play, because Lawrence, as you say, will be out for 6 weeks plus, so he can cement that position. The only other guy that's out and about there is Scotia's pal Hadji. Again, I don't think he's answered. He's a good backup in the bench for me. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Barami will be playing. He'll be playing out in the left against Hearts on Sunday. But after the international break, I hope Matondo is back to free him up to play him where we bought him to play.
Yeah, Ross, I think I get what Ali's saying. He probably will start on the left-hand side on Sunday. But I look at it and go, can McCausland not do a job on the left? Can we not rearrange something just to be able to get Barami into the 10? Because I feel that would be the best attacking option for the squad. And I'm not saying McCausland at the left's the answer, but I don't think Diomande at the 10's the answer either. And I think I would rather use someone that has a kind of proven ability in such an important area of the pitch as well, and someone to support Dessers more so than what Lawrence can, because Lawrence not got the legs. He can run for about 20 minutes, which I granted is longer than me, but I don't get paid what he gets paid. But you want somebody there to be in and about Dessers and to supply Dessers with the wee balls off the shoulder, the wee balls round the corner, somebody to link up the play, and I think Barami's that guy. So I would rather see Barami into the 10 and put somebody else on the left for now until we have a Cortez or Matondo back fit. What's your thoughts on it? Is this the time for Barami to play in his signed position, I think?
Definitely. And I think one thing with Lawrence is that potentially, lads, we've just lost a fair amount of goals. So, and Barami's proved that he can put the ball in the back of the net. So, Tom Lawrence been out for me. I hope isn't, and I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe that I'm saying that if Tom Lawrence is out, that we are right in amongst it, because he's came up in the big moments for goals this season. So, I think it'd be daft not to. Again, we say round pegs and square holes. Barami is the number 10 for all that we know. So
he's a round peg and a round hole. It's like hurrah! It's like a hurrah moment.
Honestly, just get the pyros out. but it's he's a player who I think he had one game at the cam, and I can't remember what game it was, but I was like, the left might be better suited for him. We need to see him in an extended run, and now's his chance. He's been given it could be a blessing in disguise, the fact that Lawrence is out. So for me, definitely, mate, I'd be getting Matondo if he can come back in. Brilliant. You're right, McCausland, mate, is a great shout. Get him out there. Can even Agamani, for what it's worth, can he jump out there? There's options around it, but for me, again doing things for the benefit of the team, play players in a natural position, and Brahmi for me, that number 10 needs to be his.
Yeah, I agree. I do, mate. I think I get that we've seen him in the 10, and it was when Ali had mentioned that Diomande was playing far too close to him, and I think maybe with the holding of Raskin and Barron behind him, would just kind of free up Barami in that whole area. He can kind of do what he likes, give him almost a free role amongst the whole kind of central attacking midfielder role anywhere that he wants to do to affect the game. I just think we would be daft to not do it now. I do think it's a perfect opportunity. We all know that Lawrence is Clement's man, and you're right, Ross, he has scored goals for us, but he's not the answer to me. He really isn't. He's far too ineffective in games than he is effective. So I would love to be able to see a steady run for Barami in that 10, and hopefully it's the making of him, and hopefully it's a bit of a more of an attacking threat, because Ali's favourite word, we are still far too powder puff up front. That's for absolute sure. So I'm hoping they would give us a real cutting edge and give us a lot more attacking threat. Right, we'll move on to the upcoming game. So Hearts travel to Ibrox on Sunday. A fantastic time of 5 o'clock on a Sunday evening for a game of football. Brilliant. Whoever thought that up, give yourself a pat in the back. And you're not on my Christmas card list. Whoever thought that one up. Ali, safe to say Hearts are in a pretty bad state just now. They are sitting currently 11th in the league, and it's only Hibs that are below them. They are not playing particularly great. What do you expect? They got beat. Hearts got beat 2-0. I think it finished last night, if that's right. I think they got a late goal, so they get beat 2-0 last night. What are you expecting from Hearts? I'm not going to lie, mate. I expect a pretty stuffy game. I don't think it will be the same kind of thing as we expect when Hearts come to Ibrox. I don't think he'll be coming to set up to try and give it a go against us. I think he might be thinking we might have a spring in our step after Thursday night, after the draw last night, and I think he'll be thinking, let's try and frustrate the Ibrox crowd as much as we can. But first of all, how buzzing are you to go to Ibrox at 5 o'clock on a Sunday?
It's better than 8 o'clock, so
it is better, slightly better, but it's not great. It's not good.
No, it's not great. And there is one positive, Carney, that SPT have come out of the dark ages and have actually extended the subway to 8 o'clock on Sunday.
They have.
So the subway loyal, you will be able to get the subway. I still can't believe that we're still talking about the subway shutting at 6 o'clock on a Sunday in Glasgow. It's mental, to be honest. But yes, it is open till 8 o'clock, so people can get back into the town and stuff. But yeah, Hearts, I actually watched them last night because they were the game after us on TNT Sports. They were playing Heidenheim, who I'd never heard of, to be fair, but apparently they've had some sort of rise in the Bundesliga, up the league and stuff, and a very small team. But I watched them against Hearts. Hearts were decent in the first half, similar to us. Didn't take their chances, and that team did take their chances in the second half. They scored halfway through the second half, and then they got a late winner to cement it. I agree with you. I think Hearts will come and frustrate us. They're sitting, I think are they second bottom in the league? I know Hibs are down there with them. Yeah. They got a wee bounce off their new manager, but then they get beaten in the league last week, whatever it was. I think it was 2-1. I think they get beat. So, yeah, I think they'll come to Ibrox and they'll sit to frustrate us, to be honest. I know Hearts is a team in recent years that we've done reasonably well against, but yeah, I think it'll be a stuffy game on Sunday, Carney. I think we'll have to have patience, which obviously we don't have as Rangers fans. But for Hearts coming, they'll be looking at anything will be good for them. They'll be looking to try and get a point, probably. Launch Shankland for them hasn't started well this season.
One goal, I think, so he scored this season.
a lot of their fans, if you look in social media, are on his back at the moment because obviously his contract situation, he's free to talk to people as of a few months' time, which will be interesting then. But yeah.
Can we not put this to bed now? The fact that he scored one
No, I'm
goal
not
this
talking
season.
about us. I'm not talking
All
about
right.
us.
I
I'm
was like,
not
come
talking
on.
about us.
I thought you were.
For
I was
me,
like, calm
he's
down,
not.
man.
For me, he's not the answer. I'm just saying in terms of Hearts at the moment, in terms of their support, I think they're putting two and two together because his contract's up and he's not been doing that great for Hearts. But they're a weird team, Hearts, because you look at their squad and that. I mean, Hearts should be in the top half of the league, to be honest. So, and I think they'll come out of where they are. But Sunday, yes, it will be frustrating. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Rangers go and blow them away on Sunday. But yeah, it'll be a frustrating game. But we should have more than enough to take care of Hearts on Sunday. And they've played Thursday night as well. Usually these teams, Hearts and whoever it is that play in Europe, Aberdeen, days gone by, struggle when they play in the league the next day. So the next weekend. So it'll be interesting. But I think we'll have more than enough to beat Hearts on Sunday. And if we don't, we'll chuck it all together.
Yeah, might as well. The person that the kickoff suits is Justin. Justin says 11 kickoff over 11 a.m. kickoff over here. Even if I put my teeth back in, makes a change from usual 6 a.m. kickoff. So you'll be able to enjoy it. He's baking. He's baking rolls. I've seen America. I'm pretty sure you can drink whatever the hell you want, mate. They don't live in the dark ages like the west of Scotland do, mate. So you can drink whatever the hell you want. So yeah, be able to enjoy it with his baking butties and his coffee, which is good. I suppose suits him. And yeah, David Todd said Shankland no before you start. I am not starting. Trust me, I'm fully on the no bandwagon of Shankland. I do not think he's the silver bullet that everybody thinks that he is, and I think this season's form proves that. Anyway, Ross, what are you expecting from the game on Sunday? I say Hearts have won 9 points from their first 12 games, which is not what you would expect from a Hearts team. Very weird to see both Edinburgh teams actually at the bottom of the league the way they are just now. Unlikely that they'll finish there. They'll find a bit of form, you would like to think, at some point. But yeah, you think they're coming to try and frustrate, maybe? Try and not commit too much, that they don't take another bit of a doing, because he needs to pick up points where he can right now.
Definitely. It's a game you'd expect Hearts to come play, but not a chance for us now. I think actually Hibs have a game still to play. So Hearts are, if Hibs win, then Hearts are bottom. So
you're right, mate. You're right.
You'd never predict that, especially after last season, and it makes it even more frustrating that we dropped points there right at the start of the season. So it's, Hearts on Sunday is 3 points, no questions asked. For me, we need to eventually see this switch from playing well on the Thursday night to then playing well on the weekend. Too many times we've been on saying how there's just that kind of hangover from playing on the Thursday night. We can't have that. We cannot have that at all. So we need to get the quality from last night. Use that as some form of momentum to bring it into Hearts, which, let's be honest, see, from the way that Hearts are going, we can pap 3 or 4 past them. And I hope that it isn't a 1-0 scrappy one now that I've said that, but for me, mate, it needs to be a convincing performance and something to kick on from, because Clement won't get these chances like last night. He's in the good books for now, for dropping Tav, for getting a good result away. Let's build on that. Let's not go back the way. So it needs to be, as I'm pretty sure me and Nicky said a few weeks ago after a European game, you need a statement performance after that, and I hope Sunday's where we can kick on.
Yeah, I agree, and I think brace yourself, everybody. We've got a saying amongst ourselves on the group in the group chat, and when we're at the pub waiting for the game to come out, fully expect number 4, John Lundstrom, to be lining up for Rangers on Sunday, because I don't know if Clement will then, but this is his opportunity to make the changes that are really needed. It's clear for all of us to see that these changes need to happen. On that, we will finish with teams and score predictions. Alistair, do you want to go first? What you think your team? What you think you can do? Whatever you want. You can pick your team or pick what you think Clement will pick.
Bit of both, to be honest. There's not much to pick from when you really look at it, to be honest. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's available for Sunday. See, because we've got the international break coming up straight away, for me, I'm not really resting players from the other night there. So I'm going with Butland. Sterling, if he's fit and available, he plays right back for me. John Souttar. Hearts can be quite physical at times. I'm pulling Proper out and putting Balogun there. Proper for me, he was all right last night. I think Europe kind of suits him.
He was all over the place for the goal, mind you.
He was.
For the goal. But he was solid. He was solid at all the points as well, though, during the night.
Yeah, domestically, I just don't think he's built for Scottish football. So Balogun for me comes in there. Jeffrey, he wasn't great last night. Jeffrey, I know Yilmaz is
quite quiet.
Is coming back, but he won't. I doubt he'll be fit to start. So Jeffrey plays for me. Raskin and Barron for me. You've got to start the two of them. And then you're looking at it, I think he'll stick with Diamandi in the 10. I think he'll stick with Barami on the left, Cherny in the right, and Dessers up front. That's what I think the team will be. And I'll go for, let's keep it positive, 3-1 Rangers. And I'm going to go Cherny to score the first goal. And on Cherny, we slaughtered Cherny about 4 weeks ago, I would say, and rightly so, because he wasn't great. He's come off social media. Since then, he's really kicked on for me, and he looks a big player for Rangers. I thought he was very good last night again. Every time he got the ball, he was driving. I just think we knew there was a player there, and I think he's starting to show it. So it's good to see that from Cherny. So yeah, that is my team, and that is my score. And Curry Muncher saying no Hadji. Hadji will be on the bench, Curry Muncher. There you go. He will come on.
Yeah, I'd imagine we'll see him, yeah. No, I agree with Cherny, mate, and it's another one that I'm quite happy for a player to prove me wrong. I really am. I was slating him at Ibrox and that as well. There's going to be guys round about me, but they see me on Sunday, they'll probably give me a hard time because of how much I slated Cherny, but he looks our most dangerous player last night, and last night and just now, I think. He looks like he's taking a bit of responsibility, and he did so on Sunday
as well.
Yeah, absolutely,
he's got the bit between his teeth, yeah.
Yeah, so just get him the ball, really get him the ball and long may it continue, really. That's what we all expected to see from him when he first came, and he's now getting to live up to that kind of expectation. Ross, your team and score prediction for Sunday, please.
Yeah, I think it probably does pick itself. I think you're right, you don't rest too many players before the international break. So I'm going Butland. I'd be starting Sterling. I think Tav will play, but I'd be starting Sterling 100%. I agree. Souttar, Balogun, Jeffrey. Midfield 3, Raskin, Barron. It'll probably be Diamandi. Do you just, for the sake of it, lads, just switch it up, chuck in Yaris Hadji? I don't know. We'll see. But that's sort of for Clement to decide. He could all of a sudden just lose the fans after doing that, but we'll see what happens. And then I'm going Barami in the left, Cherny, and it will be Dessers up front. It will be Dessers. I was holding myself back there. I had Igamani in the tip of my tongue, but no, Dessers. I think he's going to get the first goal in a 4-0 win, gents. I think 4-0. We're going to get the bounce. I'm feeling positive. I might need a drink, but I'm feeling positive.
Coming for the guy that doesn't drink, Ross. Yes, that's very good, mate. That's very good. Alistair, you got something to do for me?
Yes, Justin Muir as always. God bless America. And thanks so much. Justin's actually coming to the Viceroy in 2025, and we're approaching 2025 very quickly. So that'll be good to see Justin in the Viceroy. But I can't believe Rangers haven't made Ross drink, for Christ's sake. That's my reason for drinking.
That's my reason for drinking also. Yes, it's also mine. No, thank you, Justin, mate. Absolutely mega from you as always, mate. Very much appreciated. My start 11. I'm tempted to start Danilo. I really am.
Don't.
I know, but I am because we have to try and find a different option. I think Dessers will start based on the fact that he'll be managing the whole managing of minutes with Danilo. But I would do that. I would honestly play Barami in the 10. I agree with your back 5, by the way, and your 2 holding midfielders. I'd play Barami in the 10 and I'd put McCausland on the left. I really would, and put Dessers up front. I just think we have to see this guy in the 10 now. This is the chance to do it. And bringing Hadji in for me, it would just be a bit crazy. I really think it's a bit crazy. I could see him maybe bringing Hadji in and they two kind of interchanging between the left and the 10, maybe doing something along the lines of that. I'm not sure, but I think we have to do anything to get Barami into the 10 now that Lawrence is not out the picture as such. I don't want to be overly cruel on the guy, but now that there's an opportunity to do so, I think that should happen. I'll go for 2-0 Rangers, and I'll go for Barami to score the first goal. A win would just be lovely. Rangers, a win would just be lovely. And maybe something a bit better that's not boring and sluggish. Let's keep the positivity train running. That will do us for tonight. Alistair, for joining me, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, good chat tonight. Positive for once. Like you say, I know. Like you say, I hope when we go on Sunday to Ibrox at bloody 5 o'clock that we start to see an identity, a performance as well. I'd hate to go to Ibrox on Sunday and it's back to the same old, just hard to break teams down and just getting over the line. I'd like to see Rangers put a kind of statement out and give us something to build on going forward when we come back from the international break. So, yes, it is over to Rangers as always.
As always. Ross, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Thank you, mate. No, cracking chat as always. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. I'm going along Sunday with my wee brother. So should be good fun. My good mate is actually the Hearts photographer, so look forward to annoying him for the full 90 minutes. But no, listen, hope everyone has a good rest of the weekend and play up the famous Glasgow.
Yes, exactly, mate. Play up the famous Glasgow Rangers. I very much hope your team wins on Sunday. Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us. Thank you to the donations as well from Jim and from Justin. Very, very much appreciated. We will be back on Sunday with a reaction pod. Before you go, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and we will speak to you all on Sunday. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everyone.